Now it's time to learn about website hacking or web application penetration testing. But first of all, you must know that what is a website, because if you don't know what a website is, then how can you able to perform attacks on any website, right? Then we will learn what is a web server. For example, Apache is a very popular web server around the world because more than 60% of the websites are running on Apache server, and Apache web server runs on Linux, right? Now if you don't know about Apache web server, then you must go to the second last section of this course, which is Linux for beginners, and go to the last lecture of that section, which consists of what is Apache web server and how you can configure it, right? Then we will perform footprinting of websites. It is very important to perform collection of information of our target before launching attacks. As you know, if you are performing system hacking, or you are performing network hacking, or you are performing website hacking, collection of information is the very first step you must follow, right? Then we will perform two or three of the major attacks like SQL and XSS or cross-site scripting, and denial of service attack or distributed denial of service attack on both virtual and live websites. Now it is very important to perform all of these attacks first in the virtual environment, because you are just developing your skills of website hacking. Using virtual environment, you won't lose any of your data, right? And you will also gain some of the important skills. So if you learn any new tool or techniques from the internet, it is best to perform it first in the virtual environment, and once you become comfortable, then only you will go for the live website hacking, right? And remember, you only perform live website hacking by taking all the required permissions from the owner of the website. Okay, so in my case, I am going to use a virtual environment where I have installed three different systems. The first virtual machine is running on Windows 10, the second is running on Kali Linux, and the third one is Metasploitable, which will act as a web server, and it has inbuilt some of the demo websites to perform these attacks, right? Now it is not necessary to create a new virtual environment. You can use your previously configured virtual machines as we have created at the time of system hacking. So let's start with what is a website and what is web server. So this is my PC, and with the help of a browser, I have opened twitter.com, which is a website. Now the part which you are seeing here is called as front end. Okay, so it is basically a HTML page. HTML is a markup language, so it is basically a HTML page, and every website you open, for example, if you open facebook.com, then also you will able to see the front end part of this website, right? So every website is divided into two main parts. First is front end and second is back end. Now the part which you will able to see is called as front end or client side, and the other is back end, which is server side. So there are different technologies used in both front end and back end. For example, the front end part will use HTML, okay, and also JavaScript. So if you visit any unknown website and that website will ask you to run JavaScript, then don't allow that website, okay, because JavaScript will execute on your PC and not on the server, right? So if you don't trust the website, don't allow it to run JavaScript. Now if you talk about backend, which is a server side, which is a web server side, so web server is nothing but a computer like your computer, okay? It is no different, but it has more power than your computer. It has more memory. It has more storage. Okay. But the working of web server is same as your PC. Okay, you can also install Windows operating system on server. You can also install Mac OS. You can also install Linux. Right. Now, the technologies your server understand is PHP, Python, MySQL, etc. So MySQL is a database and Apache is a web server. So web server and database are two of the main components which a server must have in order to become a web server. So these are the two main applications. Any computer having these two applications has capability to become a web server, right? So if you want to perform an attack on the server side, then you must create your attack in a language which web server understand, like PHP, Python, etc. And if you want your attack to perform on the client side, then you will create that attack in JavaScript. Okay, so these are the basics of what is a website and what is a web server. Okay, now in the next lesson I will teach you how exactly what is happening behind the scenes when you try to access a website like facebook.com. So this is the basic structure of how we can access a website. So this is your PC and you have opened your browser and you want to access facebook.com, right? But your request first go to DNS server. Now what is DNS server? It is a computer server that contains database of public IP addresses and their associated host names. So the job of DNS server is to convert the domain name into its associated IP address. So this is the IP address of web server, right? Then it will forward request to a web server. So this is the web server where facebook.com is hosted, right? Now, in worst cases where we are not able to hack into our target website because it is highly secure, then we must try to find out other websites running on the same server. Okay, now you must know that a single web server can host multiple websites. So if we able to manage to hack into any other website on the same server, then we can also take access or full control of this web server. That way we will able to control facebook.com, right? So the web page which you see on your PC is a HTML format, right? So this is the basic of how we can access a website. I hope now you know that the part of website which you and I able to see is made up of HTML and sometimes JavaScript also. And server is a computer just like yours, but it understands Python and PHP like programming languages, and it has web server and database installed, which makes it a web server, right? Web server like Apache and database like MySQL. Now there are many other web server or databases available over the internet. You can easily find their names by searching on google.com, but I focus on Apache and MySQL because they have more share than their competitors, right? Now let's start with the first step, which is footprinting of website. So let's see what we will discover or collect information about our target website. So first we will find out its IP address. Then we will look for domain name information like the name of the owner which registered the domain, the contact number of the owner, the email ID of the owner, etc. Then we will find out what programming languages a website has used, okay, and other applications as well. like whether it is using Apache web server or it is using IIS web server, which is Windows based web server, okay, and what kind of database the website is using. Then we will see about DNS records. Then we will try to find out directories which are listed on the websites as well as which is hidden by the owner. And we will also try to find out other websites which are running on the same server. So let's open your browser and type ⴠ okay, ⴠ lookup. Now let's open the first one. So ⴠ is a database which contain information about the owner of a domain name. For example, if I type let me zoom it first so that you will able to see it. So I typed shubhamparikh.in. It is a domain name. Now let's search for the information of this website. Okay, by the way, this is my website and it's not working for now. If you try to access this website, it says website is down. Now it has provided some important informations like the website is 510 days old. Okay, the website is created on this date and will expire on this date and is updated on this date, right? It also provide DNS server information like this domain is using Hostinger services. Okay, so Hostinger is my web hosting company. Okay, this is the IP address of the server and this is the IP location, right? Okay, now you have to fill CAPTCHA to gain more information about your target domain, and you also have to create an account with them. That way you will able to access some of the more information. So let's change another website which is ⴠis. Okay, see, these are the similar websites which provide similar results. So let's try to find out using ⴠis. And I hope it will provide some other informations. Okay, data currently unavailable. So let's try on another website which is shubhamparikh.com. Let's search for it. Okay, so it says registrar info is GoDaddy. So I have purchased this domain from godaddy.com, but it has already expired and I am not the owner of this domain anymore, right? I don't own this website now, but it says domain name is this, registrar is GoDaddy, and website updation creation date. So the similar information is provided by ⴠis. So there is not much of a difference. You can also see DNS records clearly, which is not available on the previous website. So you will able to see the DNS records, okay, like CNAME, A records, etc. Okay, so these are the very basics where you can find out the information about the owner, about the IP address. Okay, so let's see one more method of finding IP address of a website. So let's open command prompt and type ping www.shubhamparikh.in. Okay, remember this is the same IP as we have seen from ⴠis website or ⴠis database. In the previous video, we have used ⴠis database in order to collect information about the owner of our target website. Now, let's try to find out some more information regarding our target website. So for that, you have to visit toolbar.netcraft.com, or you can download and browser extension for the same. It will provide you a quick review about a website. Now here on the left hand side, click on site report and you will get this web page, right? Now here enter the URL of your target website, let's say facebook.com. So this time we are going to target facebook.com. So here is the report. It says site title is this, date first seen, okay, primary language, and site rank. Risk rating, so it is risk free, right? Here is the network information about facebook.com, like this is the domain name, here is the IP address, so it is IPv4 version 4, and here is version 6, and this is the address of the organization, okay, hosting country, and this is the hosting history, okay. So the server where facebook.com is hosted is running on Linux, right? Now you have some more information here as well. So it is using PHP, and SSL is installed on facebook.com, which is a good thing, okay. JavaScript, it is using Facebook CDN. CDN is the content delivery network. It increases the speed of your website. And other information like zzip, okay. So zzip is a compression, okay, which is used by the companies. You will find these informations on your control panel on your hosting dashboard. And some other information, okay, HTML5 is used, CSS is used, so that is a good thing, right? So you have seen many other information which is not possible if you go for ⴑɪs database, right? So netcraft.com is a very important website which help you to gain more information about your target website. So we have used ⴑɪs and netcraft in order to collect information about our target website. This time let's use roptex.com, okay. It will provide you some more information which ⴑɪs and netcraft is not able, right? So this time our target is twitter.com. Now here is the report, and report is divided into different sections. So first is analysis, which provide you IP address and hostname informations, okay. So these are the DNS information about twitter.com. These are the information of mail servers, and these are IP addresses, okay. Again, quick information like twitter.com registry, IP numbers, name server, mail server, etc. Here are the DNS records, okay. There is a huge list of DNS records. Then there is SEO, it is search engine optimization. It is a technique using which you will able to improve your website ranking in search engine results page. And then there is trustworthiness, okay, child safety, etc. Now Alexa rank, again some basic information, and here CNAME, IP numbers, okay, name servers, etc. Now here subdomains and host names. See, many a time it happens that the main domain of a website like twitter.com, www.twitter.com, you are trying to hack twitter.com, but it is very secure. So what you can do is, these are the big websites. Generally, before launching any new feature, they first start beta testing. So they assign subdomain like beta.twitter.com or name of the new feature.twitter.com, right? Like this. Here it is, this one, okay, or mx003.twitter.com. So these are subdomains. You can try to hack into these subdomains, okay. So there are more chances that you will able to hack into subdomains rather than attacking on the main domain, okay. Now here is the graph also, but you have to log in to see other history and ⴑɪs information, okay. And this is DNS block list, right? So these are some of the information which ⴑɪs and Netcraft is not able to provide you. So you have learned how you can collect information about your target website using ⴑɪs database, using Netcraft toolbar, and by using roptex.com. In this lesson, we will see how we can hack into a target website using SQL injection. So in my virtual environment, I am using Kali Linux as my client machine, and I am going to access web server directly using IP address. Okay, I am not using DNS server in between, and this is my web server, and web server is Metasploitable. So Metasploitable using a web server called Apache and database name MySQL, right? So what is SQL? Okay, or SQL injection. So SQL injection is a very popular vulnerability, right? And SQL is a structured query language which help a website to interact with its database. As you know, most of the websites use databases to store their data. Okay, data like username, password, or credit card information, etc. And so the data is stored in databases in the form of tables which consist of rows and columns. Okay, so SQL is the language which help a web application to interact with data in order to read data, update data, or delete data, etc. Now here is the Metasploitable, which is a web server. So first of all, let's find out its IP address. It is 10.0.2.5. Now let's switch to client machine, which is Kali. Okay, and now I am not going to hack into any website. Instead, I first want you to show how database look like. So MySQL -u stands for user. Username is root. Now my web server, which is Metasploitable, is not using any password, and then the IP of the web server. See, now I am in the MySQL of 10.0.2.5. The first command we use is databases. Okay, so show databases and semicolon, hit enter, and here you will see all of the databases, right? Now we will use this one. So let's type use dvwa. Okay, and hit enter. It says database changed. Now type show tables. As I told you that data is stored in the form of tables. So here are two tables. First is guest book and other is users. So let's see information about users. So select star from users, hit enter, and see, this way you get access to a database of a website. So this is the user ID, first name, last name, and this is the username, which is admin. Okay, and then there is password. Okay, and this is the URL to access or to get a login page. Okay, no, actually it's a JPG, right? So we go to the login page of DVWA, and then if we try this as the username and this is the password, we will able to get access into that website, right? So let's exit for now, and let me open a browser, let's say Firefox, and if you type 10.0.2.5, you will able to see all of the web applications that are hosted on Metasploit. Okay, now you can open any of them. So this is DVWA. Okay, it's using PHP, and here you can enter username and password as we have extracted earlier, right? Let's go back, and if you want to access to a database, you can also go to PHP my admin. Okay, so these are some of the pre-configured websites in Metasploitable. Okay, so that penetration testers can perform their penetration testing techniques on all of these websites, right? Now let's use SQL injection to hack our target website. So first of all, let's open our web browser. So 10.0.2.5, and let's open a website DVWA, and let's type the the username and password like admin. Okay, it's not working. So let's try admin and password. Okay, so we are able to log into this website, right? Now you might be thinking that why I'm using these kind of easy passwords, because there are still some website owners that are using these kind of simple passwords on their live websites, right? So don't ignore the little things. Now let's log out from here and let's switch to another website. Let's say this one, which is ᴅᴜɪ. Now click here, login or registered. Okay, so let's try the same thing here as well. Admin. Okay, not working. Admin, password, again not working. Okay, so first of all, let's find out the real username and password for this website. So let's switch to our terminal. Okay, now let's try to log in. Again, show databases, use OWASP 10. So OWASP 10 is used by ᴅᴜɪ. Okay, hit enter and let's show tables and select star from accounts. Okay, so username is admin and password is admin pass. Okay, and this is the signature. Is admin? True. So this is the admin and this is another admin user, right? Now let's close this and let's try to log in using admin and admin pass. Okay, still it says we are not able to log in. Why? Okay, here is an error. Now guys, if you are using this for the very first time, then you will also get the same error. Okay, there are chances that you will get the same error. In that case, switch to your Metasploitable and change your directory to where www and ᴅᴜɪ. Okay, and now let's edit a configuration file. So we use nano is a text editor, and then config file. Okay, but before it, add sudo, hit enter. Okay, now let's change this thing. Okay, which is database name. So change database name to OWASP 10. Now to save the file, use Ctrl X and press Y, hit enter. Done. Now let's switch back to Kali and let's try admin and admin pass. Okay, so now we are logged in as admin. Done. Click on logout. Now let's try the same thing using SQL injection. So admin and simply type single code, hit enter. Now read this line which says select star from accounts where username is admin and password is this. Okay, so let's select this line and let me open a file editor. So gedit. Okay, it is a graphical editor. Now what's happening behind the scenes, the system will say select star from accounts. Okay, account is a table name which we have accessed earlier, right? So username is admin. Okay, that's correct. Now password is this, which is wrong. That's why it's giving us an error. Okay, so delete this for now and let's try to bypass this authentication using SQL injection. So let's say I want to try password as 1 2 3 4 5 6, which you know it is a wrong password, right? Now add a single code here. Okay, and then space or 1 is equal to 1. Now what happening is we have provided two different conditions, okay, two different statements, that whether this is a password, but if not, then 1 is equal to 1. So yes, this condition is true, 1 is actually equal to 1. So we are informing system that hey, we are providing you two different conditions, this and this. If any of them is true, then you must allow us to log into our account. Now space and hash. Hash stops system from reading further information. Okay, so system is not able to go beyond hash, right? So now the actual scenario is like this. Paste here. So it will look like this for system. So system will check whether username admin is existing in its stable account or not. So yes, admin is a username which exists, right? Then it will check whether it has a password 123456. No, it is wrong. But still we have provided one more condition, that or 1 is equal to 1. So yes, it is true. Okay, then system will not read this single code because of hash, right? So let's try this and let's see whether we able to bypass authentication or not. Coming back to login page. So username is admin and password, let's paste it and click on login. So yes, we have successfully logged in as admin, right? So this way SQL injection actually works, right? Now you may see here that our security level is 0 right now. Okay, so security level is 0, which is a low security. Now let's increase our website security by clicking on this tab which says toggle security. Okay, now our security level has been improved. So let's log out and let's try to log in again using the same password. Okay, now it says username too long, we don't want to allow too many characters, some might have enough room. Okay, see, now the system stopped us. Okay, so this is the level of security. Okay, now in the next video I will show you how you can bypass improved security as well. So as you know that we have increased the security level to arrogant. Now if I try admin and password as single code, it says dangerous characters detected. Okay, which means it is filtering out these kind of characters. So we are not able to use SQL injection here. Now we are not sure whether the filtering is happening on the client side or on the server side. So to find it out, we are going to use burp suite. Okay, so burp proxy will help us to determine whether the filtering is happening on the client side or on the server side. So here is the burp suite. Simply click this and it will open. Here it is, right? Now the function of burp suite is whenever we try to load any website using a browser, the request first go to burp suite, and once we forward the request, only then we will able to access to that website, right? Now let's see what I mean by that. So if you try to access ᴅᴜᴜ home page, right? Now it's running. Okay, so we have to perform some changes in security settings. So go to preference, and under preference we have to search for XY, that is network proxy. Go to settings, and now here simply click on manual proxy configuration. Enter the localhost IP here and port number would be 8080. Click on OK. Right, now let's try to reload the page. Okay, this time it's waiting, so let's switch to burp. Okay, here we received the request. Now let's forward this request, right? Now let's switch back to our browser, and you can see that the home page is open now, right? So let's go to login page again. Again we have to go to burp first and forward the request. Only then we will able to get our login page. Now, as you know, if I type any of the SQL injection, it says dangerous character detected. But if I type simple password like ABCD, okay, and hit enter, nothing happens. Okay, you will not able to see error like bad characters and all. Okay, but still this password is not correct. So let's see how we can bypass this. So okay, it's waiting for the request to forward in burp. So let's forward this request, and see it says bad username or password, okay, which is a authentication error. It is not filtering out the simple characters, right? So now let's see. This time we use SQL injection. I am using single code and hit enter. So see, this request is not going on burp suite, which means it is filtering out the dangerous characters on the web page itself, okay, before sending it to the burp, which means the filtering is happening on the client side and not on the server side. So let's see how we can bypass this. So let's type the simple password like ABCDEF, hit enter, and let's switch to burp. Now here, don't forward the request, go to params, okay, which is parameters, and here is the password, okay. So let's change the password to the previous one which we have used in the previous video, okay, this one. So let's copy this and paste the password here, okay. Now forward the request, okay, forward again. Now let's switch back to browser, and you will see that we are successfully logged in as admin, right? Now you might notice that I am using SQL injection in the password field, right, and not on the username, because I know the username is admin. But what if you don't know the username as well as password? Well, in that case we will try SQL injection on the username field, okay. So let's try this. So let's remove admin, and let's say we don't know the username, so type XYZ, okay, and then we will make it a SQL injection. So single code, then the condition 1 is equal to 1, and then hash, okay. So let's copy it, switch back to browser and paste it, okay. Now in the password type anything like 1 2 3 4 5 6 etc. Hit enter. Now forward. See, this time the security is set to low, okay. So we have successfully logged in as admin, okay. Now let's increase the security. Again we have to forward this request, otherwise we will not able to access to the website, okay. So as you can see, the security level is set to arrogant. So let's log out. Again we have to forward this request. Done. Now let's try SQL injection again, but this time it won't work, as we know that we have increased the security. So let's change it to the normal text like ABCDEF, and password would be ABCD. Hit enter. Now here, now it is the security level 1, so we have to make changes here to bypass client side security. So single quote, again our SQL injection. Okay, now let's forward the request and see whether we able to get access into that website or not. See, we have logged in as admin. Okay, so login is successful, right? Now let's increase security to top, okay, to level 5, which is the highest level of security in our virtual environment. Okay, and this level of security is sufficient to stop attacks like SQL injection. Okay, so now we have increased the security level to 5, which says it is secure now. Okay, so let's log out from here and try to perform SQL injection attack again, but this time we are not able to get access into this website as the security level is set to maximum. Okay, so let's try attack again. Let's say admin and password would be ABCD. Hit enter. Now again let's make it a SQL injection, 1 is equal to 1 hash, and this time let's try to make password field as well. Okay, so let's change it. Okay, and click on forward. Okay, see, it says bad username or password. So this kind of security is sufficient to stop SQL injection attacks. Now what is happening behind the scenes? The web page has given instructions using secure coding that whenever in the username or password field you found characters like single quote or double quote, then just remove them, because username and password will only accept plain text. Okay, for example, let's say we have used this injection on both username and password. Now web page will ignore this single quote, okay, and make it a plain text, because whenever we remove single quote from our injection, then this is no longer a SQL injection, it is just a normal text, right? So this way you can secure. If you are a programmer, then you must know how to secure from attacks like SQL injection and cross-site scriptings, right? So our attacks won't work in level 5 security in our virtual environment. Okay, now in the next video I will perform SQL injection attack on live websites, right? Okay, now I will perform SQL injection attack on live websites. So I have opened Tor browser for this to maintain privacy, and let's use Google keywords like in URL colon. Now I hope you know the meaning of this. In URL means whatever words I am typing here in front of these keywords, show me the results where these words contain in the URL of a website. For example, if I type admin login php, okay, and hit enter, then you will get results only where the URL of a website will contains these three words. Okay, so admin, login and php. So only show me the login page in PHP. Okay, so this way you will filter out the results. Now if I add one more keyword like site colon and then IN, okay, IN for India, so you can see that it's showing me the URL with .in, admin, login and PHP. Okay, so all of these words are contained in the search engine results, right? Okay, so let's open one more tab and let's try this on, let's say PK for Pakistan, right? So now we have all of these results from .pk websites only. Okay, for example, if I open any of these websites, I will get direct access to its login page, right? Now it doesn't matter whether the website is secure or not, SQL injection still works on both of these. Okay, because some of the websites owner are not aware of this vulnerability, or they don't care about website security, right? So now I will pause the video because I have to open some random websites, and to maintain the privacy of a website and its owner, I will edit this video and hide some of the important informations. I found two different websites which are vulnerable to SQL injection. Okay, and the important information is hidden just to maintain the privacy. Now this is the SQL injection which is working on these two websites. Okay, see, it is not mandatory that a single SQL injection will work on all of the websites which are vulnerable to SQL. Okay, so we have a list of SQL injections here. I will attach this list with the resources of this lecture. Okay, you can download it from there. Okay, so you have to try every single SQL injection on both username as well as password field. Okay, so here is the username and password, right? Simply click here, and this is the admin panel, right? Now we can do whatever we want because we are now admin here. Okay, you can see here which says admin dashboard.php, right? So for now, let me close this website. Remember, never try to log out from a website, okay, because that will create logs, right? So disconnect the session, and now here is another website. So let's try the same injection on this as well. And if I try to log in, okay, so it has given me the access, and here is the data of this website. Now I have hidden some of the important information just to maintain the privacy of the website as well as its customers, right? Okay, so this way you can hack a live website using SQL injection. Now, being a responsible person, don't try to hack a website without the permission of the owner. Okay, so now you know how you can use SQL injection in order to hack a website both in virtual environment as well as on live environment. Now, what if your target website is highly secure? Let's say youtube.com is your target website. Now we know that YouTube is a highly secure website, and the attacks which we are using like SQL and XSS won't work on that website, right? So what should we do now? Well, we have one more option. First, we have to find out that what other websites that are running on the same server on which youtube.com is hosted. So to get a list of that websites, we have to visit a website which is yougetsignal.com. Okay, now let's open this website. So here you will find many different options. Okay, so this website will also help you to find open ports of your connection. Okay, you can also find out your IP address, and then other tools like location, trace route, okay, email lookup, like figure out who's emailing you. Okay, now the option which we are interested in is this one, which says reverse IP domain check. So find other websites on a web server. So let's open this link and let's type our target website URL, which is youtube.com. okay, click on check, and now this website has provided a list of around 336 domains that are hosted on the same server as youtube.com, right? Now we know that youtube.com is a highly secure website, but maybe there is at least one website on this server which is vulnerable. Okay, so that we have to try every attack on all of these websites, and if we able to gain access to any one of these website, then we can gain control over a full control over a server. Okay, there are many viruses available over the internet. So if you upload that kind of viruses on a server, then you can gain access to a server and then you can take control of any of these websites which are running on that server. So I hope now you understand that if you will not able to hack into youtube.com, then you have to try attacks on each of these websites. Okay. Now you know how you can use SQL injection in order to hack a website, but the whole process is manually, so you have to take part in the whole process, right? But now in this video we will see how we can automate the process, and we will use a tool called SQL map. So what is SQL map and how it actually works? So we will start with what is SQL map first. So SQL map is a software that helps us to detect and exploit vulnerabilities in database. Also, it will help us to inject some malicious code into that database, and it is an open source software. So let's see how it works. First of all, let's open the browser and let's switch to ᴅᴜᴜ. So we have to enter the IP address of a web server and then open ᴅᴜᴜ. Now here we have to switch to this tab which says injection, extract data and user info. Okay. Now here enter any username or password. Okay. Because we don't know the password, so I have entered the wrong password. Now copy this URL and close the browser, and here type SQL map -u. Now why I am using -u? For this you have to type --help. Okay. And here are so many options you can use with SQL map, right? So I am using -u so that I can enter the URL or the target URL, right? So there are so many options, we will use some of them, but first let's continue with SQL map -u and then paste the URL. Okay, and close this in double quotes. Now I have added double quotes so that SQL map will read each special character like dot, hyphen, is equal to, etc. Right? And hit enter. And now let's wait for the process to complete. So it's a long process, so I have to pause the video. Now it's asking some questions like, do you want to skip the test payloads? Okay, so you can press Y here and again you can press Y. And now let's wait for the process to complete. Finally, the process has been completed and here is the output. It says the backend database management system is MySQL, which is correct. Now operating system version is Linux Ubuntu, PHP version is this, and web server which is Apache is running on 2.2.8 version, right? And MySQL version is 5. Now all of the information provided here is absolutely correct, right? Now it says fetch data log to text file under this. So anytime if you want to see this output again, you can switch to this directory. Okay, this is the path where this data has been stored, right? Now let's see what more we can do using SQL map, and let's explore the database. And now, okay, so repeat the command, last command, and then type --current -db. db stands for database. So we are asking SQL map that which is the current database. Here press 0, which is default, and now you can see that the current database name is OWASP10. Okay, so let's repeat the command, and this time as we know the database name, so we use -d and then the name of the database and then hyphen columns. Okay, so now we will asking SQL map to show all of the available columns under OWASP 10 database. So here is a list of all of the columns, right? So we will use, let's say, this one, username and password. Okay, both of these. So let's try them and let's remove columns, type -C and then name of the column, let's say password comma username. Username. Okay, and then hyphen tables. Hit enter, and now we will asking SQL map to show all of the available tables under these two columns. So 0, done. Now here are all of the available tables, right? So repeat the last command and type T and then the name of the table, which is accounts. Okay, and then hyphen dump, right? Now let's wait for the output. So here are all the available usernames and passwords, right? So this way you can use SQL map to automate the process of injecting SQL injections and exploring the database, right? Now this only works on the websites which are SQL vulnerable. In this lesson, we will talk about DOS and DDoS attacks. So DOS stands for denial of service attack and DDoS stands for distributed denial of service attack. Now what is DOS attack? DOS means creating a fake traffic, a huge amount of fake traffic on your target, so that your target will unable to handle that much of traffic and will crash. So to make resources unavailable is the main aim of DOS attack, right? Now your target could be anything, a normal computer, a server or a website. So let's understand both DOS and DDoS one by one. So here is the scenario of DOS attack or denial of service attack. So this is the attacker machine, and in this type of attack an attacker can directly use his own machine to perform DOS attack on the target, but he will also hack a new computer, an unknown PC, and will use that PC as an attacker machine to perform the DOS attack on the target, so that whenever investigation is conducted, the security experts will assume that this is the attacker machine and this one is the real criminal. So to protect ourselves, the attackers would do these kind of attacks, right? They will hack another machine and then use that machine to perform attack on the target, right? But to protect ourselves from these kind of attacks, security experts will use more than one server, right? Suppose your target is a website, so experts will host that website on more than one server, so that whenever traffic increases, they will divide the traffic on all of that servers, right? They are using load balancers to help protect from DOS attacks, right? Now DOS attack is used normally to take down small targets, okay? But if your target is big, like your target is Wikipedia, then DOS attack will not work on that website, okay? So you have to go for distributed denial of service attack, right? Which is DDoS. In this DDoS attack, a group of hackers will come together to take down a big target, right? So suppose this is hacker A, this is hacker B, and this is hacker C. So a single hacker would hack some other machines, right? Like this. And then they all come together and will use all of these machines, okay, to take down a big target, right? So this is the minimum scenario, because in real world a single hacker would hack 10, 20 or even more machines. So a single hacker may use 20 machines, then a group of hackers, let's say 50 or 100, okay, then multiply them by 20. So that much of machines come together or use together to take down a big target. Now recently, if you heard the news, in September 2019, Wikipedia has faced DDoS attack and is unavailable in some of the countries, right? So DDoS attack, once started, cannot be stopped easily, right? You can't stop DDoS attack by using load balancers or by blocking the IP address, okay? But you can use this kind of security in DOS attack, right? So DDoS attack is a very harmful attack, and both DOS and DDoS attacks are illegal in approximately all of the countries. So be aware before using these kind of attacks on real target until and unless you have the full permission to do so, right? In the previous video, we have seen what is DOS and DDoS attack is all about. Now in this lesson, I will show you the practical of DOS attack, which is denial of service attack, right? So I am going to perform HTTP flooding attack, in which attacker machine will continuously send SYN packets to the target. So here is the Kali machine, which is the attacker machine, and I have one more virtual machine running, which is Windows 10, and this one is our target. So let's check the IP of the target machine. Okay, now let's switch back to attacker machine and let's check the IP of attacker machine. Done. Now to perform this kind of attack, I am going to use a utility called hping3. So hping3 is an inbuilt tool in Kali. So hping3 -S and then the IP of the target machine, which is 10.0.2.12, and then -A, and then the IP of the attacker machine, which is 10.0.2.15, and then -P. -P stands for destination port, and the destination port would be 22, and then --flood, right? So this is going to perform the HTTP flooding attack on Windows 10. Now here you will able to see that hping is in flood mode, right? And no replies will be shown. And the reason behind this is, if you started receiving the replies and your target is more powerful than your machine, then there are chances that your own machine will crash, right? So it is important that it would not show any replies to your machine, okay? So if you want to verify whether you are receiving the traffic on the attacker machine or not, then you can go ahead and use a tool called Wireshark. Now in one of my previous video, I have explained what a Wireshark is and how you can use it, right? So now I have to pause this video until and unless I'm able to see the effect of the attack, and then I will resume the video. So now I am trying to move my cursor, but I am unable to do that, right? And I am trying to open the command prompt using keyboard, but that's not working right now, okay? So this is how you would able to see the effect, right? Now let's stop the attack by pressing Ctrl+C, and let me tell you two more important tools of performing DOS attack. So DOS HTTP and CPU death pinger are two most important tools for performing DOS attack. So DOS HTTP is an easy to use but powerful HTTP flood denial of service attack tool, right? Which works on Windows 10, 7, 8, 8.1, etc. Okay, and the other tool is CPU death pinger. So version 2.0 has been released. It says this tool will create a batch file on your desktop, making possible multiple floods. It also floods the user with more dramatic freezes, errors, etc. Now if you ask me personally that among these two tools which one I prefer, so I will prefer CPU death pinger. Using these tools is a very easy process as you use any other tool. Just install it on your PC and it will ask you to enter the IP address of your target machine, okay, or target website, and click on attack, right? That's how easy it is used to use these kind of tools. Now let me tell you, you are using a free version of these tools or the trial version of these tools, then it will provide you a limited access to its features, okay? But if you will go for the premium version or the paid version of these tools, then it will grant you access to use all of the functions of these tools. In the previous video, we have seen how we can perform DOS attack, but DOS attack is not able to take down a big target. So to take down a big target, we will use distributed denial of service attack or DDoS attack. Now in order to perform DDoS attack, we need a tool called HOIC or High Orbit Ion Cannon, right? So open your browser and type download HOIC and open the first link, which is sourceforge.net. Now if you see any other link than this, then don't use that link, because that would install additional softwares, which is not a good thing. So open this link and download it from here. Now it is a risky software, so download it on your own risk. I suggest you to download this software in your virtual machine and not on your physical machine, because if something goes wrong, you have an option to delete the virtual machine and install a new one, right? So you can download it from here. It says malware detected, download at own risk, okay? So in my case, I am using 3 different virtual machines, okay? So the first one is Windows 8.1, which is an attacker machine, and we have Windows 10.1, which is another attacker machine, and our target is Kali Linux, okay? So this machine is our target. So let's check the IP of our target machine. It says 10.0.2.15. Now let's switch to the attacker machine and let's check the IP, which says 10.0.2.4. So let's ping our target from here 2.15. Okay, we are getting reply. Now let's check the connectivity from here as well. So ping 10.0.2.15. Okay, everything is working fine. Now you have to download HOIC software in all of your attacker machines. As I told you, I am performing this attack in a demo environment. That's why I am using 2 attacker machines. But in the real world, the hackers will use thousands of attacker machines, right? So you have to download that software in all of those machines, and you have to perform attack at the same time, okay? So I have already downloaded that software and it would be in my downloads folder, okay? So here is a download folder. Here is the software, okay? So first of all, you have to extract it, or you can directly open it if you have a RAR extractor, okay? It says evaluation copy and then run the application, okay? So let it open and let's switch to our another attacker machine. Let me open the software here as well in the downloads folder. Here it is. So let's run the tool here as well. Done. Now this is the tool HOIC, which is used to perform DDoS attack, okay? Now a good option is you can target multiple websites or computer system at once, right? So you can add your target from here, okay? Enter the URL. If it is a website, enter the website name, or you can enter the server IP address. So http / and then IP of the target machine, okay? Now the other option is to power. So set the power to high. Okay, and then it asks for booster. Okay, so select the second one which says generic boost and click on add. Okay, now here are the number of threads you want to use. So let's increase it to let's say around 20. Okay, that's sufficient for now. Let's switch back to the other attacker machine and let's do the same job here as well. So http 10.0.2.15, set the power to high. Again select the booster to generic, click on add. Okay, increase the threads to 20 again. Done. Now to start the attack, click on this button which says fire the laser. Okay, so let's start the attack from both of the attacker machines. Now it says power is high and status is engaging. Okay, and this would be the output. Okay, total output. So the attack has now been started. Okay, so let's switch to our target and let's observe the traffic by using Wireshark. Okay, it's a inbuilt tool in Kali, so simply type Wireshark and hit enter and it will open the tool. So it is a traffic capturing tool in your network. So let it open. Click on OK. Now here select the interface. So for now I am using Ethernet 0 and click on start. Okay, so it has started capturing the incoming traffic, okay, or the overall traffic in your network. Okay, so let me increase this so you can see clearly. See, these are the number of threads or the number of total traffic. Okay, so see, it's increasing very fast. Okay, it says 23,000, 24,000, okay, which is a lot of traffic, right? Now my Kali virtual machine is a powerful virtual machine as it has around 4 GB of RAM and around 50 GB of hard disk space. So it is not an easy task to hang this machine, okay, or to make this machine inaccessible, right? So it will take around half an hour or maybe 1 hour to see the effects. So my aim is to show you how you can perform DDoS attack in your virtual environment. Now if you want to perform this in the real environment, then simply add your target and enter the IP of the server you are targeting, right? Now to stop the attack, simply click this button, fire the laser again, and it will stop the attack. Okay, it says total output is 101 MB, and let's stop the other one as well. Okay, so I hope now you know how you can perform DOS and DDoS attacks on your target, but do this with all the required permissions. In this lesson we will talk about XSS or cross-site scripting. Now cross-site scripting is a type of security vulnerability typically found in web applications. An attacker may use XSS in order to inject client-side scripts into web pages. An attacker may use XSS to bypass access controls, right? An attacker may also use XSS in order to steal cookies or for phishing attacks or for other exploitation purposes, right? So let's talk about the process of XSS. First of all, we will find an input parameter and then we will try to run XSS script in that input parameter. Now what I mean by input parameter, if you visit an e-commerce website, you will find a search bar to search for the different products. So we will try to run XSS on that search bar, okay? And if we succeed, then there may be chances that there is XSS vulnerability on that web page. And to make sure, we will move on to next step, which is try to inject JavaScript code into that input parameter. And if we succeed, then make sure there must be an XSS vulnerability. Okay, so we will go for the exploitation using XSS. Okay. Now let's talk about the types of XSS. So there are mainly three types of cross-site scripting. The first is refracted XSS, which is a most common vulnerability found in web applications. The other one is stored XSS, and the third one is DOM based XSS. Don't worry, we will talk about all of them in detail in coming lectures. Now, I hope you all heard about a word called bug bounty. So bug means finding weakness in a website, and if when you report that bug to the owner of the website, then maybe the company or the person will provide you a reward in return. So the reward you earn is the bounty. Okay, so I will show you what kind of genuine websites will help you to earn bounty by hunting bugs. Okay, now I am not providing any kind of earning guarantee, but my aim is to show you or to make you aware about the fact that you can also earn money by finding bugs or finding weaknesses in web applications. Now it's time to perform the practical of XSS. Okay, but first of all you must follow some steps. So the first step to follow is find an input parameter, type anything there, and if you get a reply, then there may be a XSS, and to confirm it you have to inject JavaScript code there, and if you succeed then there must be a XSS vulnerability. Okay, now what I mean by input parameter? Input parameter could be your search bar or the username and password fields you generally found on the login page, or all of the fields you found on sign up page, or your contact us page, or forms, or comment boxes, etc. Now let's try to perform XSS attacks on live website. So here is a website which is testphp.vulnerweb.com. Okay, now this website is intentionally created vulnerable to web attacks so that students like you can perform SQL injection attacks or cross-site scripting attacks on live websites, right? And this website is running on Apache web server and is built on PHP programming language, and database is MySQL. Okay, to know other details, visit the home page of this website and you will find other information here. Okay, so this would be the URL which we are using. Now let's close this box. Okay, and let's input anything here. Let's say hello. Okay, so you can see it is reflecting back hello. Okay, now let's try to inject a JavaScript code. So I will use a common script which is script alert, and let's say 1 2 3 and then script tag close. Hit enter and see. So there is a XSS vulnerability here. Okay, now you can try this on other pages as well, like browse categories. Okay, let's go to posters and let's say comment on this picture. Now here you will find two boxes. Okay, so we are not sure about which one is vulnerable, so let's type hello 1 and here let's type hello 2 and let's see which one will reflect back. It says hello 1, thank you for the comment. Okay, that means the first field is vulnerable. Okay, now to make sure we have to run a script again. So script alert and let's say 1 2 3 and again close the tag. Okay, and here type anything which you like and click on submit. See, it is also vulnerable. Now let's move to sign up page. Now I personally know that this is not a vulnerable. Okay, so I don't want to waste your time. Let's directly jump on sign up page. Okay, and let's try all of these. So let's say hello 1, okay, and hello 2, and to retype password we have to use hello 2. Then in the name field we will use, let's say the name would be ABC. Okay, and credit card number would be anything like 1 2 3 4 5 6. Then the email address which would be hello@, hello.com, and the phone number would be anything like 99999987654. Okay, and in the address let's type hello 3. Okay, and click on sign up, and you will see that all of these fields are vulnerable. Right, now you have to try to inject JavaScript code on all of them. Right, now I hope you know about the basic attack of cross-site scripting. Right, so now let's try this attack on a live website. So let's say woodlandworldwide.com. Let's go to search bar and let's type here hey, and see whether it reflects back or not. Okay, it says no result found, but see, okay, it's reflecting this word. Now let's go here again and let's try to run the script alert and 1 2 3. Okay, hit enter. Okay, it says suspected XSS attack. This page has been blocked by Netcraft. Okay, I am using Netcraft toolbar, that's why it is blocking this page. But click on visit anyway and see, it is vulnerable. Okay, so this is a live website, right? Now you have some more URLs to visit. You can try them by yourself. And in the next video I will increase the level of XSS attack. Now it's time to increase the level of XSS attack. So let's visit to HTTP parameter pollution. Now I hope you all know that HTML and JavaScript are both front-end languages or client-side languages, which means if you run any script or code using these languages, then that would be executed on the client side and not on the server side, right? And your browser will execute HTML code, and HTML already knows JavaScript. Okay, now if you click on check, and here in the URL bar you will able to see a parameter. So pp is a get parameter. Okay, so let's try using hey. So it's not reflecting back directly, but if you visit the view page source, and let me copy this. Okay, so you will able to see the reason behind this. So your pp get parameter has a double quote closing. Okay, so that's the reason you will not able to see the reflection on your browser. Okay, if you want your reflection to work, you have to use it something like this. Okay, which means you are first closing your, by using this function double quotes closing, you are closing your parameter completely, and then you are passing or using your script. Okay, so let's try this one. So let switch back to our website. Okay, and let's add this double quote closing and hit enter. Now this time you will able to see hey. Okay, so this is the reason it's not reflecting back directly, because it is closed by double quote closing, right? And if at any point of time you find that any of your parameter is using single quote closing, then you have to work the same way. You have to first close it and then you have to pass your script, right? So if I try to run script here, okay, without using it, then it won't work, right? So let me type the script. So let's say script alert 1 2 3 and then close it. Copy this and let's try this on a live website, which is again woodlandworldwide.com, because I know this website is vulnerable to XSS. Okay, so let's paste it and click on go. Okay, this time if you click OK, you will see the reflection again. Okay, so click on prevent this page from creating additional dialogues, right? Now I hope you know how you can use XSS attacks on live websites, and in the next video I will show you a special website which definitely increase your level of using XSS attacks. In the previous video, I told you that whatever closing function used on the web page, you have to use the same function, otherwise your script won't work. Okay, so we have seen that on our live website we have to use double quote closing. Okay, only then we will able to run our script. Okay, because if you don't use this closing function, then our script won't work, right? Now I know that it's a little bit confusing, but in this video all your confusion will be cleared, right? So here is a website which help you to increase your knowledge and confidence about XSS attacks, right? So the website called as leadtime.net/XSSlab1. Okay, so I am not sure, but this website provide you around 7 or 8 levels of different challenges, okay, which will definitely help you to practice XSS attacks, which will help you to understand how you can hunt on live websites, right? So let's click on yeah, bring it on baby, and here is a first challenge. Okay, so it's asking to enter your name, so I am entering my name. Okay, it says cannot find Shubham. Yes, that's what we want. Now let's run the script and let's say alert 123 and then close it. Okay, click on search. It says 123 is reflecting. Okay, nice try, but use alert document.url. So we have to use this alert instead of using 123. Okay, only then it will take us to the next level, right? Okay, so no worries, you can enter the script again here, or you can edit it from here as well. Okay, so let me edit this. So instead of using this, we have to use document.url. Hit enter and it says good work, you are welcome to the next round. Okay, so now here is the challenge 2. So let me enter my name again. Okay, this time we are not getting a reply, so let's check out the page source. Okay, no, not selection, I want a complete page source, right? And here it is. Okay, here is the input field, so let me copy this. Okay, so the reason behind it is not reflecting is this one, okay, which is a closing tag, which is a closing bracket. Okay, so this is a closing function. So in the previous video you have seen that we are using double quote closing, but this time we have to use this bracket only, right? So our payload would be something like this: script, okay, alert, and then 123 and then close it, right? So this would be our payload for the challenge number 2, right? So let's use it. Okay, but first let's try this with the name, okay, and see whether it works or not. Okay, so it's reflecting back, yes. So the method we are using is absolutely correct. Done. Okay, again we have to use this thing instead of using 123. So no worries, let me edit this again. Okay, so now it's time for challenge 3. Let me enter my name again. Let's view page source, and here it is. Let me copy this. Okay, so the reason behind it is not reflecting is this, which is double quote closing, right? So let's try this again here. Okay, so double quote closing and my name. Hit enter and you will able to see the reflected query. Done. So let's use our script again. So script this is our payload, right? And this time let's use document.url and close the script and hit enter. Okay, so now it's time for challenge 4. Okay, so this time let's use hello. Okay, view page source, and let's see why it's not working. So okay, this is the reason behind it is not working, which is single quote closing, right? So I hope now you understand that whatever written here, which is a closing function, you have to use the same thing, right? So let's use it, which is single quote closing. Okay, so let's add this here, single quote closing and hello. See, it's reflecting. Okay, which means we have to use the same thing for our script as well. So script alert okay, we have to use a document.url, right? And then close the script, hit enter. Okay, great work. Now it's time for challenge 5. Okay, so let's use hello again, and it's not reflecting. Let's view page source and see this one, okay, which is the input field, and okay, it says input type text, name is equal to name. Where is the hello? It's not getting it. Okay, so Shubham, let me type my name, and let's visit the page source and let's find. Okay, so it's not taking this, right? The reason behind is input type text and then name. Okay, so here is one more different thing which I forget to tell you about is see, it is not necessary that you will get a single input parameter field, right? Here you will find two different parameter fields. The first one is the name, okay, which is my name, and the next one is submit. Okay, this button submit is also a input parameter. So this one is the first input parameter and search is the second one. Okay, so let me type something like this, which is hello, and let's say 1. And here in submit we will try to run hello 2 and hit enter. Okay, and if we go inside the page source, we will able to see. Okay, so problem is different this time, so let's try one more time and let's visit view page source, and here you will able to find that it's taking our input as a string, and that's the reason why it is not working here. Okay, so whenever it takes our input as a string, it won't execute this one. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to close this thing. Okay, we have to close /script, right? So the actual thing would be like this. So let me show you. Our payload would look like this, to /script. Okay, then now we have to run our script. Okay, so script alert and document.url and then close it. Okay, done. So this would be our payload for this new challenge. Okay, so let's move here and let me use this. Okay, done, right? So as I told you that whatever used for closing your function, okay, whatever closing function they will use on a web page, we have to use the same thing, right? So that was the case. Now in challenge 6, let me type again, and this time, okay, let's close this. and it's not reflecting. So let's view page source again and let's see this one. Okay, so yes, again what's the reason that it's not working? Okay, I hope this time you will able to find out the reason, right? So the reason is this. Again the closing function. So this time if you want to create the payload, use this thing. First to close this, close your function, okay, and then try to run our script, okay, which is document.url, and then close it as always. Okay, so copy this payload and paste it here. I hope it will work. Oh yes, good work. You are welcome to next round. Now it's time for challenge 7. Okay, this time let me use hello again. Okay, it's not reflecting, so let's view page source. Okay, if you are able to see the coding here, you will know that it's not taking input from your keyboard. Okay, so whatever you type using your keyboard, it won't work here. Okay, so that would be a increased level for XSS challenges, right? So this time we have to use some other thing. So this time let's try to assign input using mouse. Okay, so the students who know little about programming will understand this thing. So we will use on mouse over. Okay, you would assume this as a script or as a function. Okay, so whenever your web page has a secure coding, like it won't accept input from your keyboard, okay, so in that case any of your attack won't work. Okay, so in that case we have to use mouse input. So on mouse over, and let's say alert, and the alert would be document.url and semicolon. Okay, so let's try this payload in our challenge number 7 and let's see whether it worked or not. Okay, see, whenever you use on mouse over, you have to move your mouse on that input field. Okay, as soon as I moved my mouse to the name field, it worked, right? So I hope now you understand that whenever your keyboard is not working, you have to use your mouse inputs, right? You have to assign inputs using on mouse over. Okay, so now it's time for challenge 8. Let's see how different it is from other challenges. Let's view the page source. Okay, there is a little difference between the two. This time we have to use double quotes, right? So double quote here and here as well, and this would be our payload for the challenge number 8, right? Let me close all of these. Okay, so I hope it will work. It's not working. Okay, so as I told you, we have two different input parameters, so let's try the same thing on the second parameter as well. Okay, so let's run our payload on the search parameter. Okay, and let's see whether it works or not. See, it worked, right? So this way you have to try. Okay, it is finished. Okay, so the total challenges are 8. Okay, 8 different levels of challenges you will find on this website, right? Now you have to understand that the same thing won't work on the same input parameter. You have to try each of your attacks on all of the available input fields or input parameters you find on a website. For example, on e-commerce websites you will find a lot of parameters or a lot of input parameters. Okay, so the search bar or the login page or the sign up page or the contact us page or the comment boxes, right? So you have to include all of the input parameters in your attack in order to find a single vulnerability in that website. Okay, so I hope you understand the difference between on mouse and normal keyboard inputs. Whenever your keyboard inputs are not working, you have to use on mouse over. Okay, and you have to move your mouse on that field in order to work your script, right? Now in the next video I will show you how you can earn some real money by hacking into some websites and how you can find those websites. In the previous video I told you that I will show you some of the websites which help you to earn some money by hacking into websites, right? Now keep in mind, this is not a bug bounty course. My course is a general cybersecurity course, but I am sharing this knowledge with you in order to make you aware about the fact that you can earn some money if you explore SQL injection attacks and XSS attacks to some advanced level, right? So here is the first website, which is ᴄᴏᴍᴜ.com, which itself says pay a reward, not a ransom. So the owner of the websites themselves offer their websites to security researchers or to pen testers in order to find some bugs, some weaknesses in their website, right? So that they will increase the security of their website and prevent from external threats. The next website is Open Bug Bounty. Okay, here as the name suggests, it is open for all. Okay, so any of the security researcher will hack into any of the websites they provide you, and in return you will get a reward, right? See, I told you that you can use SQL injection attack and XSS attacks in order to earn some bounty. But if you use DOS and DDoS attacks, then the owner of the website will block you and will never pay you a bounty, right? Because they know that the DOS and DDoS attacks will work in most of the cases, right? In approximately all of the cases. That's the reason they are not interested in DOS and DDoS attacks. Okay. Now the next website is HackerOne.com. This website is a little bit different from Open Bug Bounty. This website will give you some challenges. Okay, capture the flag challenges, and when you earn some points by passing them, then you will be invited for private programs where the owner of the website will allow to hack into websites to only limited number of pen testers. Okay, so these websites are not open to all, so your competition gets reduced, but the challenge will be hard. Okay, so the next website is bugcrowd.com. Okay, again it is also a bug bounty platform, so you can create account with them and can earn some real reward. Okay, only if you get a weakness in their website. Now you have to prepare a basic report like name of the vulnerability, the attack you have used, like you have used XSS attacks. Then you have to provide the URL and the input parameter field, because whenever you send a report they will first verify it. Okay, they will try themselves that whether the thing you are mentioning is correct or not. Okay, so if possible you can create a video whenever you are trying to attack on their website as a proof. Okay, so or you can also take screenshots, okay, and then explain them step by step procedure, right? Now here is one more website, which is hacktrophy.com. Okay, so you can try all of these if you want, but it is better to first get a deep knowledge about SQL and XSS by practicing yourself and by using and by showing your creativity. Now if you notice in my previous videos I am using a single script. Okay, I am using a very common script, which is script alert 123, right? But that's not the only script. We have many more scripts. Okay, so the one is not working, then we will try the other one. Okay, then we will try the third one, right? So let me open this link and let's open this one as well. Okay, so it says top 5 most important XSS scripts. Okay, so here you will find a list of scripts. Okay, so you have to try a single script at a time. Okay, and I think it is a very time consuming process. Okay, it's not possible, I know it's possible, but it is a time consuming process, so that's not possible for an expert to try every single script manually. Okay, so in the next video I will show you how you can automate the process. Okay, and save your time and energy. Now if you want to learn deep about XSS, then you can visit this website owasp.org. It is always a great website for increasing knowledge. Okay, you can read it if you want, right? In this video I will teach you how you can automate the task of cross-site scripting attacks, right? In the previous videos we have seen how we can use XSS attacks manually. Now this time we will see how we can use it automatically. So for this I am using Kali Linux and I am using a tool called ᴅᴜ. Now I hope you all remember that in my previous videos when I am explaining SQL injection attacks, I have used the same tool to bypass client-side security, right? Now this time we will use this tool to automate the process of attacking on a website, okay, using payloads. So let's configure our browser. So in Kali we will get Firefox. So let's open our browser. Go to Preferences. And then go to Advanced and then to Network tab, right? And then go to Settings. And in Settings we have to enter the IP address of localhost. So it would be 127.0.0.1 and port number would be 8080 and click on OK and close this. Okay, so now our browser is ready to use ᴅᴜ. Okay, so let's switch to ᴅᴜ. So now ᴅᴜ is running. So let's switch to our browser and let's try to open a website. So website would be test.php.vulnerweb.com. Okay, now let's switch to ᴅᴜ again. Go to proxy and send this request to Spider. So click on send to Spider. Okay, click yes and make intercept off. Okay, now let's switch to target. Okay, so here is our website and Spider is crawling all of the pages and will tell you that which of these pages will have input parameters. Okay, so to filter out the results, double click on parameters. So 1 and 2. Okay, so these are the number of URLs or number of pages on a website which have input parameters, right? So you have to try your payload attacks on each of these web pages. Okay, so let's try this one. Okay, which says guestbook.php. So right click and click on send to repeater. Okay, and now let's switch to repeater. See, the job of spider is to crawl all of the pages from a website, right? And then it will tell us that which of these pages have input parameters, and once we found, we have to send each web page to repeater. Okay, now we are here on repeater, so let's check which of the input parameter is vulnerable. So we have two input parameters. This would be the first one, so let's try hello1, and this would be the second one. Okay, so let's try hello2. Okay, and click on go, and here we have a reflection of this web page. So let's check whether we have hello or not. Okay, so we have got hello1, which means the first input parameter is vulnerable. Okay, once we got this, now we have to send this to intruder. In the intruder tab, it will help us to perform payload attacks. Okay, so here in the options, okay, in the payloads, first we have to add some payloads. Okay, so if you able to see, let me show you here on my desktop that I have a file called XSS payloads. Okay, so this particular file will contain hundreds of payloads. Okay, so there is no need to check all of them one by one manually, right? So to save our time, load that file here in Burp Suite. Okay, so the file would be on desktop, and let's open the file in Burp Suite. Okay, so this much of the scripts is available in that file. Okay, right? Now, okay, now here in positions tab, first you have to clear all of the selected items, and then select the particular input parameter on which you want to perform the attack. Okay, so I want to perform the attack on input parameter 1. Okay, on hello1. So select this and click on add. Okay, once done, my previous virtual machine is working very slow, so I decided to boot up another Kali Linux virtual machine. Don't worry, all of the settings will be same as earlier. Okay, so all set. Simply click on start attack. Okay, click OK, and now we just have to wait until it finishes using all of the payloads. Now here, keep in mind one thing: when the request or payload is set to 0, so this length, which is 5581, is the original length of a web page. Okay, so the length more than this, okay, like this and this, so all these links or all these payloads are working on that web page. Okay, and the size below this, so there are more chances that this will not work. Okay, so whenever you want to try any payload, try the payload which has length more than this. Okay, so let's try this one. Right click and click on show response in browser. Okay, click on copy, switch to Firefox. Okay, and paste the copied URL here and hit enter. Okay, now we have to wait and it will show us the response. See, XSS attack is working here. Okay, so our payload is working, right? So this way you can automate the task. Okay, so let's try one more. Let's say this script. Let's try this one as well. Click on show response in browser, copy this. Okay, switch to Firefox and paste in the URL, hit enter. See, it worked, right? So this way you will know that which of your script or payloads are working on which of the web page of a website, right? So it would be going to save you a lot of time and energy. Okay, so this is the easiest way of performing your script or your payload attacks on a web page automatically.